body.
Yeah!
Woo! Yeah. All right. Before I get going on my talking about my chapter that I wrote in this book, the first thing I want to do is I want to thank somebody. My dear friend Stephanie Urbina Jones, who she's my friend and my teacher, and she invited me into this project, and it's been really healing and profound for me, and she's just made such an impact on our family. So, thank you. Thank you. And I'm really nervous because what I'm about to read to you is super vulnerable, and I've never done anything like this before. So, yes. All right. So the name of my chapter is Exposing the Roots of Body Shame, Carving a Path to Self-Love, Acceptance, and Freedom. And I'm going to read excerpts throughout the chapter. There's a lot more that went on than what I'm going to read, but my daughters are here, and there's certain parts that I'm not ready for them to hear yet. So, here we go. When is Mommy coming back? I was a little girl with a round face, rosy cheeks, full lips, blue eyes, and a few wisps of blonde hair on my head. I was taking an evening bath. My tiny, curious hands were exploring my warm, smooth body, and they found a place that felt different. For a moment, I was lost in this place. Suddenly, Mommy burst through the door and immediately noticed my exploring hand. Her face turned red, her blue eyes squinted, her thin lips tightened, and in a disgusting tone, she snapped, "Don't touch that, it's dirty. I don't ever want to see you do that again." It's hard to have that magnified. I opened my mouth in shock and my body tensed up. Then I withdrew my hand as if I touched a hot burner on the stove. A warm sensation overtook my body. "Why?" I asked. "It's dirty." This was the first time I remember feeling body shame. Hold on, what was next? Sorry.
You're doing great.
Okay, so my 12th year around the sun was a monumental year in establishing body shame for me. A lot of stuff happened when I was 12 years old, and this is one of them. I was at a girlfriend's house changing my clothes in her bedroom after swimming. I took off my wet bathing suit, dried off my pubescent body, and stepped into my underwear, and suddenly I heard her little brother exclaim, "Wow, she is fat!" He peeked through the door and watched me get dressed. I scrambled to put my t-shirt on to cover my newly budded breasts as fast as I could, so he couldn't see me. I heard him running away laughing. I stood there frozen in shock. I was hot all over, and I felt the shame pour over me. Me, fat? Am I fat? I slowly finished dressing and walked out of my friend's room, cheeks flushed, shrouded with humiliation. A group of my friends was sitting on the couch right outside the room I was in, and I knew they heard what had happened. I couldn't even make eye contact with them. In those first 12 years of my life, with everything that happened, I made unconscious agreements with myself that became the deep roots of my body shame. I am dirty. I can't trust men. Men don't respect me. I am fat. I am ashamed of my body. Boys think I am unattractive. I am husky. I don't like clothes. Cool clothes don't fit me. Shame was a dominant, heavy force in my life. I was convinced that any time someone looked at me, they always saw my deeply flawed, overweight, dirty body first. So fast forward a few years, into my early 30s. I'm on my daily walk along the San Francisco Bay in Sausalito, where I had recently relocated. I live in this gorgeous place. I have a beautiful home, lots of money, and I'm still alone. I'm still fat, and I'm still ashamed. I've had so much success at so many things, and why can't I seem to conquer this? This is the question I asked myself over and over for the next 20 years. One day, a friend shared with me that several other friends were doing breath work and taking these shamanic sacred healing journeys led by Stephanie Urbina Jones and Jeremy Pager, also authors in this book. I wasn't sure what any of that was, but these friends had all had tremendous struggles like addiction and chronic depression resulting from childhood traumas, and they were able to begin healing by doing this work. I decided it was time for me to give it a try. The idea was both scary and exciting. I spent a lot of energy avoiding being vulnerable in my life, and I would have to step into vulnerability in a big way. The idea of finally conquering this challenge was exciting enough that I dove off the cliff into an incredibly profound experience that was no less than a rebirth. I journeyed to Teotihuacan, Mexico to immerse myself in the ancient indigenous wisdom. This ancient city in Mexico has been one of the most influential spiritual centers in the world for thousands of years. This is where I achieved profoundly deep healing through a week of journeying through the ancient pyramids and temples of Teotihuacan, following the initiate's journey of the ancient Toltecs. Each step of the journey had me deeply contemplating my life and uncovering the agreements that no longer serve me. When I arrived in Teotihuacan, I anticipated the week's intensity, and I wanted to set an intention for the journey. I asked myself, what do I want to walk away with? My intention for the week was to truly love myself. The next day, we went to the pyramids for the first time. We stopped at the Plaza of Hell, which includes the Temple of Quetzalcoatl and the Island of Safety. Jeremy invited us to walk around the plaza and identify 5 hurdles or vices that we wanted to leave behind in the Plaza of Hell and pick up a stone for each one of them. As I slowly and pensively walked around the plaza, I picked up a stone. My body is ugly. I picked up another stone. My body is undesirable. I picked up another stone. I am ashamed of my body. I picked up another stone. I give my power to men. I picked up another stone. I am not enough. I took my stones and climbed to the top of the Island of Safety, and we built a temple with our rocks gathered as we shared our hurdles. Wow, this is the first time that I actually said these things out loud. I was witnessed, and I got these agreements out of my head. I had many opportunities that week to change my story about my body, and I took every chance I had. I want to conquer this. I knew I was healing myself. My teachers were holding space, but I would only get out of it what I put into it. I didn't hold back. There were a lot of tears, there was anger, and I remember thinking, right, I never actually cried about this. I never fully felt the emotions. I just stuffed them down inside my body. By the end of the week, I was able to release my shame and experience freedom around my body that I never knew in my adult life. I felt a sense of freedom and zest for life that was unfamiliar to me. So that's my story in the chapter, and thanks for listening.
Woo!
It was really hard to read. So, what I am doing with this is in addition to just like being in the world in a whole new way and truly loving myself, is I am going back into life coaching, which I practiced before I had children, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really focused on helping women develop self-love and increase their self-esteem, and it's really an honor and amazing, and I feel Like, I'm an expert at that now.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes, so I am, my life coaching practice is called Exposing the Roots, because I expose the roots of my body shame, and I would love to help others do that. And starting in June, I will be holding a monthly new moon self-love circle for women that I'm gonna be promoting a lot. So if you're interested in joining that, it's gonna be really beautiful outdoors with a fire every new moon, every month. And we're gonna just explore different ways we can deepen our self-love. Because I believe when a woman loves herself, truly loves herself, everything changes, everything. Everything in her life changes. And nothing becomes impossible. And that's what I'm experiencing. And so, there you have it. Thank you.
Yay! I want to hear you say one more time, my name is Tina Green and I love my body.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Ready.
My name is Tina Green and I love my body.
Woo!